What is happening, Magnus? So, I've been notified through my doom scrolling that Sony is now involved in another lawsuit. And I hear it's a $457 million lawsuit for what they've been doing. It's part of the backlash. Let me see here. $457 million lawsuit. Sony. Let's see who comes up first. Fortune Magazine. There we go. Let's check out Fortune and see what in the hell is going on. All right. They want me to disable my ad blocker. Oh, God. All right. Sony essentially destroys its own defense. How its disc-free PS5 plan triggered a $457 million lawsuit and undercut its antitrust defense. Damn! This is coming straight from Fortune. Oh, yeah. It's behind the paywall. Hold on. Yahoo Finance. I believe they're talking about the same story. Yep. That's the cool thing about Yahoo Finance. You can go to Yahoo Finance and they'll tell you about the stories that are all paywalled. A little tip from me. Sony's planning to phase out physical PlayStation 5 discs by January 2028 has moved from a public relations problem to a legal one. Dutch consumer group Stitching oh, good Lord, I can't. Okay, has filed a $457 million lawsuit on Tuesday on behalf of 1.7 million Dutch PlayStation. Oh, this is a Dutch one now. So we had, some people were telling me it was France, we had Brazil, and now we have the Dutch. I'll be damned. PlayStation users arguing Sony's 30% PlayStation Store commission will inflate game prices once physical alternatives disappear. This comes amid backlash to Sony's move to rid of physical games, with thousands of gamers flooding PlayStation's blog announcements to vent their anger. Raging. Oh, by the way, I think the gamers' rage and anger has made them powerful. Raging from the disappointment to threatening to stop supporting PlayStation altogether. Here's the funny thing. I told you and we kind of talked about this, people have been canceling their PlayStation Plus subscriptions. And depending on your behavior in the store, they would offer you a discount. When I went to cancel, because I canceled mine, I didn't get offered for one damn discount. Because when I go to buy, I never buy anything on sale. It's like extremely rare. When I buy stuff on sale, when it's an old game I haven't played, and you guys say, hey, you ain't played this yet, Tyrone. And it's like, oh, it's on sale. But if it's, every time a game comes out that, I know I'm really interested in and you guys want me to stream, I just pay whatever price it is. I ain't get offered shit. This is because Sony now has control, because without physical discs, there won't be a resale market that puts money back in gamers' pockets or lets them get games more cheaply. And now it says how killing discs undercuts Sony's legal defense. But that control is exactly what makes the disc phase out riskier than Sony may have anticipated. Andrew Ching, the marketing chair at Johns Hopkins Carey Business School, that's a tongue twister, who studies video game demand, told Fortune the 30% Sony tax applied only to digital downloads sold through the PlayStation Store. Oh, he said, that tax applies only to the digital downloads sold through the PlayStation Store. So Ching explained physical retailers, in contrast, pay Sony a lower flat royalty based on how many copies they manufacture, not how many they actually sell. That structure makes physical games cheaper, especially secondhand ones, since a game's resale value depreciates as it loses its freshness. Sony has historically pointed to the physical marketplace when defending itself against antitrust claims, treating retail competition like used games in resale markets as evidence it wasn't a monopoly. Uh-oh! However, by phasing out physical discs, Sony essentially destroys its own defense, Ching told Fortune. Without a physical option, Ching said, price-sensitive consumers have nowhere to go but Sony's own front store, absorbing the full price with no alternative in the resale space. So that was, they actually used the physical as an argument for them not having a monopoly. So now, without saying it, they're saying we want a monopoly. People need to get involved and handle this. The backlash Sony didn't fully price in. Sony has framed the move to get rid of physical discs as simply following consumer behavior. Roughly 85% of PlayStation sales are already digital. Not from what the fans have found out collectively, but that leaves a non-trivial 15% still buying physical copies, according to Ching, who has studied the used game resale market using historical data out of Japan. From strictly economics viewpoint, making the physical disc is costly, Ching said, noting consumers reacted aggressively to Sony eliminating physical discs because the resale market is still robust. There are people who are die-hard, who grew up with Sony, with Xbox, and they still very much enjoy the flexibility of having a physical copy and the possibility that they can resell it, he said. There's math behind the nostalgia, too. A buyer who knows they can trade a $60 game for roughly $20 is effectively paying $40 for it, Ching said. But once Sony removes that option, their willingness to pay is going to decrease, pushing some players toward switching consoles or simply buying fewer games. Analysts say killing the resale market also hands Sony full control of the secondary market, something it has wanted, given how resale competition erodes its own pricing. Every resale and rental is value flowing to players and retailers instead of to the platform. Another games analyst at Linear Analytics told GameSpot, without discs that convert into a fresh, full-price digital sale, or it doesn't happen at all. And both outcomes obviously suit Sony better than a thriving secondhand market. Ching's research suggests that fear has been overstated in practice since buyers value games' newness enough that used copies are a weaker substitute than publishers assume. But he said that the backlash is less about the substitution math and more about consumers losing the option. See? People want that option. When you take that away, it feels like you're forcing them, like you're steering them. This goes back to don't this go right back to the Merovingian? Choice is an illusion. that those with power give to those without power, right? Sony's got the power. They're giving you the choice of digital or physical. Now they're taking it away. They're the ones in control. See that? The backlash was supposed to hand a rare opening to Sony's oldest rival, Microbox. I'm going to start calling it Microbox. Microsoft's Xbox. They should entertain this strategy of reassuring their customers that they're not going to abandon these facilities anytime soon. And then they can potentially get people switched from PlayStation to Xbox. See? And I've been talking about that since almost day one. And it wouldn't be the first time. In 2013, Microsoft proposed similar restrictions. Yep, they're talking about the whole thing and how Sony got them. Talking about what I've been talking about. Man. Now they're talking about the whole laying off from Xbox. And Ching points to a related shift in reshaping of how both companies treat the customers they already have. Sony and Xbox publishers increasingly lean on downloadable content of existing hits rather than greenlighting new games. Well, I tell you this, there's more to this, but it looks like they've got, well, Sony's getting sued again. So now when they get sued, they're going to bring that up. In the trial or whatever goes on, they're going to bring that up. They're going to bring up the fact that you used the argument of the physical retail secondhand market of you not having a monopoly. But now with this, you will have a monopoly. What say you? What's your defense for that, Sony? Post your comments down below. Let me know what you think about the situation. And I'll see you in the next video. 10 million subscribers. Woo!